Welcome to Witch Hat Chats. Come on in and sit for a spell. We are sponsored by Evermoving We Rise, Moonlight Potions and Charms, and Saul Ravencraft, Wizard for Hire. I am your goddess host, Miss Nikki Kirby, and our co-host, Saul Ravencraft, is just around the corner. How you doing, Saul?
I am doing fantastic, Nikki. Glad to be here. The weather has cooled down a bit, which is very pleasant. We actually got a little bit of rain yesterday, which was very nice.
Well, it seems like that's all we get, and then it's really hot outside, but it has cooled down a lot here too, and I'm really, really glad. I am so sick and tired of that 90s and 80s weather all the time. It's like, my God.
Well, see, and we're getting 80s and 90s, and we feel like it's really a blessing.
I know, but see, that's the reason why I don't live in Texas.
Yep.
That's one of the million reasons why I don't live in Texas.
Understood.
Texas is in the tornado alley, right? So
They've certainly said that.
Oh yeah. So my brother, who lives in St. Louis, he is also in Tornado Alley, for those of you who don't know your geography. And and there's a lot of people who don't know their geography. But my brother had this brilliant idea. You want to know what it was, Saul?
What was your brother's brilliant idea?
Okay, he owns a house, and he wanted to fill in his basement. And I'm like, okay, you're in the middle of Tornado Alley, and when there's a tornado, you go down to the basement because that's where you need to be safe, because you need to get underneath the ground, right? At least that's what I was taught, when we had tornadoes. I don't know. They may have changed things today. Maybe you're supposed to be flying in the wind. Who the hell knows? Like Dorothy, woo, let's fly around in the wind. Woo, get your broom on, man. Let's go. Let's get in the wind here. Let's do the real Harry Potter shit. And he had just had a tornado that day when he came up with this brilliant idea. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Really?
Well, we don't have basements so much around here because you dig just a little bit down and you get rock. And so it's not easy to dig a basement. It requires dynamite and stuff and is actually pretty expensive to put in any kind of a basement. So there aren't a lot of houses in Texas with a basement. I think I'd enjoy having a basement. I can't imagine why you would fill one in, what advantage that would give you.
Oh, he's just being dumb. Brilliantly dumb, And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
Well, no accounting for folks.
So you want to know what our divination is for today?
Yeah, sure. What you got?
So for our tea divination for today is, and I am drinking positive energy tea today. All right. So here is our quote for today. If one door closes and another door opens, your house is probably haunted.
How funny. Not sure what to add to that. I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
Well, the ghost is probably pissed off.
Do you have stuff moving around your house?
Oh, I used to. I've had that happen before, yeah. Been there, done that. Got the picture.
Pretty much everything that moves around our house is accounted for by the cats. We've got our new little cat, Bellatrix. She's about 8 weeks old, little black kitty, and she's disrupted things a little bit, but she is a little sweetheart. She went to the vet the other day, and they all just thought she was the most darling little thing. And, she has no clue. She's at that stage of just being the clueless little rubber cat. It's interesting. We got one of the boys is kind of dealing with her. The other one just it's turned his world upside down, and he needs some therapy, but hopefully he'll get turned around here.
He black cat?
No, he's a tawny, like a little lion. And he spends as much time outside as he possibly can right now because of the thing. Which is funny because, I mean, he came and disrupted our house as a kitten, and he doesn't have any respect for that happening in his world.
Well, I was asking about Bellatrix.
Oh, yeah, Bellatrix is a little black kitty.
Oh,
she's adorable. Yeah, she's a sweetheart. She is a sweetheart. Right now, so she's not alone. I've been sleeping in the room with her, and she was pretty cuddly the first few nights. Now she's a little bit off to the side, but she kind of pushes her butt up against me.
So we know who's the cat man. You're a cat man, not a cat woman, right?
Yeah. No, I like cats. It was funny. I did an event recently where I was doing paw readings for an event. It was for a charity called Take Me Home, and I love what these people do. So there are shelters that when they get to capacity, they begin to have to euthanize. Because there isn't anything else they can do. And this organization will find shelters and find places where adoption is more likely that are not at capacity. And they will they've got a van and they give these animals a ride to a new location to give them life. Such a straightforward, simple idea. And I love what they're doing. I love when the answer can be something that's easy to execute. What a simple idea. Just give them a ride. And they've been doing some great work there. And the venue is called the Doghouse Drinkery. And it was started by someone that loved going to dog parks, didn't like having to sneak in their beverages. And so they designed this place to be primarily a dog park with a bar. It's not a bar with a dog park. It's a dog park with a bar. And you could just see.
Dogs need their beer, damn it.
Well, you could see dogs. So I was positioned at a point. I had an umbrella, a couple of chairs, real simple setup. And I would watch the dogs come in on their leash. And they would hit this threshold, this point where they kind of realized where they were. You'd see them light up and just get all doggy about it and just realize that they were in a doggy place, and they would get so excited and so happy. It was wonderful to see that. It was just so much fun. So it was fun to be a part of all that and to get a better understanding of what lay behind the scenes and bringing this place about. These people really care about the canines. And I like that. But when I was getting ready for this, I was trying to pick out my shirt, and I realized that pretty much every shirt that I had a cat on it in some way. I don't really have much in the way of dog shirts, so I finally found one that was a wolf shirt, and that was as close to a dog shirt as I could get. But we know that every dog, no matter what, has a little wolf inside. But that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed being a part of that. But yeah, we don't really have a living situation that we think is right for a dog. We've got a decent backyard, but it's not really protected the way that it needs to be. And for me, a dog needs a space where they can just run around and goof off and not have little boundaries. And maybe someday when I win the lottery and we get that big ranch, we'll be a lot more doggy. But for right now, cats are the way. And I love my cats. I like dogs too. I would love to have a dog, but it needs to be right for the dog.
Yeah, we finally caught Mama Cat. It only took 4 years. And she's fine. Yep, she's fine. She's doing well. She's a lot more friendlier now. And she won't have any more kittens. Thank the goddess. And I think she's grateful too.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Sure. Yeah, that was the story of one of our cats. And yeah, she became one of the most affectionate cats we ever had.
And you mentioned something about paw readings?
Yes, I did. I do paw readings. It started, I was involved with some kind of a networking luncheon group, and there was a woman who had a corgi club, and she was doing an event. I think it was October, so they were trying to do something a little different there, and she asked if I thought I might be able to do something with dogs. And I don't remember if I said it or she said it, but the idea of a paw reading came up. It was kind of a joke, but then she said, so can you do that? And well, yes, I can. Sure, why not? And when I look at a person's hand to do a palm reading, the first thing I look at is the elemental shape of their hand. We're looking for squares and rectangles and the relative proportions and shapes between the palm and the fingers. And so my thought was, well, what I'll do is I'll take a look at the dog's paw. I don't know if they actually are going to have that or not, but if not, I'll just trust my intuition. And then I'll look at the owner's hand, and we'll do essentially a couples reading with that. And son of a gun, if as I looked at these dogs' paws, if I didn't see the kinds of proportions that I would see in a human hand for the elemental type. And so I didn't have to use any kind of art there exactly. I was able to look at the shape of the paw. I looked at their hand and got the elemental types for both of those. And then it was essentially a couples reading. I would talk about the dog's nature. I would talk about the human's nature, how those interacted. And it ended up being a lot of fun. And I was poking around through events going on. And the first one I saw was that event I told you about. And so I wrote to them and said, hey, I know you got this event going on. I do paw reading. Explained a little bit about what it was. And they were so excited about it. And actually, the owner of the venue got my information. I need to reach back out to cement that relationship. But they said that they have events regularly and that this would be a fun, quirky thing to add in there. So we'll see what happens. I'm kind of excited about it.
So we got Miss Daisy.
All right. So if you can hold your paw up, like she's saying, stop in the name of love.
Okay, let me see if I can. All right, wait a minute. Daisy, you're a little heavy today, baby. You need to lose some weight. Okay.
All right. If there's a way to, oh, there we go. There we go. All right. You can relax her paw. So the energy that I see in that paw is fire. Fire feeds. Fire is driven by passion. Fire is driven. I know that she's an older dog now, but her nature has always been to do what she wants to do.
Uh-huh.
And to go where she wants to go. And because I said so has never been a good enough reason for her to do something. You have to kind of convince her. You got to prove to her that she's got to do what. I mean, you can certainly overpower her, but she doesn't like it. She wants things to very much be on her terms. Now, show me, which hand do you write with, Nikki?
All right, with this one.
Show me stop in the name of love. And the what I'm getting there from you is earth. You can relax your hand. So earth is grounded. Earth is centered. Earth is about structure and about sacred space. Earth at heart is nurturing, wanting to leave things self-sustaining, wanting to leave people better than you found them. But for you, it's very much about creating the right environment, creating the right process. You're not just about the hugs or that sort of thing. You're really much more motivated about creating an environment where people can grow and people can thrive. Now, when we look at those two natures together, a lot of your work with your pup there is about helping to create those boundaries that's necessary for her. You have to do those things to help keep her safe and help keep her away from her own nature to get herself into trouble. And you're a very calming influence. I would say that it's likely that you are the one person that she really feels comfortable with when she's having trouble with stuff. That you're the one person that can bring her comfort, and that when she's away from that energy, she can get a little frantic with things. So I think the two of you are good. And at the same time, I think the energy she radiates for you is that energy that keeps you from getting too complacent. Earth people can get into their sacred space, get into their cave, and just bundle themselves up and be perfectly happy. And people can just fuck all the way off. And I think the energy you get from her and other fire people in your life is that motivation to get out of your comfort zone and to address those things that need to be addressed, and to expand your reach outside of the safe spaces, to be a little bolder when you have to, and to move for change when it's necessary. And those two combine to extend your reach. So good companions.
Well, thank you. And you're pretty right. I mean, she, especially here lately with her being 16 years old, I mean, she gets kind of upset when she notices that I'm not around. And she's like, okay, where am I? And she has to go and try to find out where I'm at, and she whines. Especially during thunderstorms. Now, she doesn't like thunderstorms. Oh, hell no. But that has been since she was a puppy. We had our roof repaired when she was a puppy, and we were trying to take a nap. Well, I was trying to take a nap one day, and they were really bad on the roof, and the fan was shaking. I mean, everything was just really shaking really bad, and it's traumatized her. So ever since then, she's never liked thunderstorms. And don't even get me started on firecrackers.
Right. Now we just got our roof replaced Monday, and yeah, it's an incredible ordeal. At about 7:30 in the morning, it sounded like the largest raccoons in the world were monster mashing on our roof as they began doing things. And the two boys were like, "Oh hell no!" And they took off, and we didn't see them for the rest of the day. And Bellatrix, she was definitely paying attention, but she didn't seem she wasn't cringing or anything. She was just like, "What is that? What is that?" And so she's a bold little kitty. She'll definitely be able to stand up for herself if she needs to.
All right. And so with that, we are going to take a quick break and listen to our amazing sponsors. And we will be right back with Witch Chat Chats.
Anybody can tell you what is on a tarot or oracle card. What matters is seeing beyond what others may not be able to see and help the client to uncover what lies in the mist. What do readings from Moonlight Potions and Charms do?
Wednesday, I did this ancestor reading, and it was an amazing reading. And it was a detailed reading. And I remember talking to this customer's ancestors, and it was so delightful. And he wanted some questions to be answered about the magic in his family because he didn't know. And his family was mostly like most of our families are. You know how everything is like hush hush when it comes to the magic in his family. And he wanted to know, who can he actually talk to about the history of the magic in his family? And I was able to give him specifically who he can go to talk to about that. What particular deity he can actually go to be able to help him with this. And it was just an amazing reading, and talking to his ancestors, they were such a delight, and they told me so much about this customer. It was just an absolutely wonderful reading for him, and I was just so happy to be able to give him this wonderful reading. It's really amazing to be able to give people these readings, these products that's really going to help them, and be able to give back to the community, because this is what Moonlight Potions and Charms is about. We want to help you to embrace the power of your own magic. That is what we are all about. It's to help you to do that.
Book now and allow our wonderful staff to take care of your spiritual reading needs. And there is so much more in our Wicked store to help you to embrace the power of your own magic. So come on in to Moonlight Potions and Charms at www.moonlightpotionscharms.com and discover the wicked things that ignite the magical passion in you.
I'm Saul Ravencraft, co-host of Witch Hat Chats. I understand just how confusing and chaotic it can be to open to a path of magic and manifestation. Everything seems to turn on its head. I want to be an ally as you find the way upon your path. My studio setup will let us do readings, coaching, and exploration virtually, just as though you were sitting across the table from me. One size does not fit all, and we will work together to craft the right approaches to build your practice, your confidence, and your power using the tools of divination, magical works, and spirit connections. It's never too late to embrace a new path and emerge empowered. Go to TexasMojoMan.com and select Contact to begin. There's a message now. Let's get started working on your very good fortune.
Have you wondered what spirituality is? Spirituality is limitless, as it does not contain any boundaries on beliefs or practices. Spirituality's most important component is personal experience and allows one to explore it freely. Evermoving We Rise is a spiritual moving tradition, as our name is our lifestyle, because we are persistently rising and moving forward. We realize that everyone's spiritual journey is extremely personal, but more easily traveled with reinforcement. We'll teach you to become friends with your shadow, emerge your authentic self, and give you time and space to develop your own spirituality. And when situations bump back, you'll have the entire community behind you, as we are a magical family who work to sustain each other. Discover the benefits of working within a society dedicated to helping you grow on your personal path. Visit us on our website, Linktree, or Facebook page and discover why we don't fit in the box.
And welcome back to Witch Hat Chats. I am Saul Ravencraft, here talking to Miss Nikki Kirby. We are enjoying the changes as we move into the proper fall season here, and looking forward to everything cooling down more and more and more. I kind of want that winter weather until it gets here.
You know, I like the fall season and I like the spring because it's not too hot and it's not too cold. It's just right. You know, the in between. But then again, I'm a Scorpio, so of course I like the in between.
Well, and one of the things I enjoy about the fall weather is the way you get to begin to layer your clothing. I like that sort of Victorian Edwardian look of the shirt and the waistcoat and the top coat and all that kind of stuff. That's just a fun look and a fun feel. And of course, you can't really do that when it's 108 degrees outside. And so I look forward to that fashion season because I look good in that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you get to put on some of your nice little witchy clothes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the shirt that I look the best in is a turtleneck, because I've got kind of a long neck, and the turtleneck helps even that out a little bit, and it looks kind of old school, but not too old.
Well, I mean, turtlenecks are fashionable. I like the shorter version of that because the turtleneck, I got a very short neck. So I do like the shorter version of that. But I mean, you get to be able to dress up and look sparkly and just be able to dazzle people. And I like that. But I also like wearing my dresses like I'm wearing today. Like, I'm just been able to get back into this. I've lost so much weight. And today I decided, hey, let's try this. Let's try my favorite skull dress because I refuse to get rid of it. It was my favorite. And when I couldn't fit it anymore, I was so damn upset. And now I fit it again. And I'm like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. And I'm still losing weight. So I'm still.
It's funny. Yeah. I think of you as a little bit more of a tomboy. And so it's fun to hear you say that you're looking forward to wearing some of your dresses. You're multifaceted.
Well, I do like being more of a tomboy and everything like that, but every now and then I like to be in certain type of dresses, and these dresses are comfortable. They are not uncomfortable, because if they're uncomfortable, guess what? I am not going to put that damn thing on. They don't have corsets. I don't believe in corsets. I know there's people who love to wear corsets. I'm not one of them. Oh, hell no, that's a torture device.
I try not to suffer for fashion.
If you look at the modern fashion designs here lately, especially the ones that they rave at, I'm like, I would not wear that shit if somebody gave me $1 million to wear it for the next year. Like, what the hell was people thinking on some of this stuff? It's like, what the, like, where are you getting these ideas? I understand trying to imagine and trying to think of something different. I get that. But some of these ideas is like, holy Christ, really?
Right. Well, we're into October finally.
Oh, and yes.
It's I carry Halloween in my heart all year round. This is the month where people catch up with me for a little while. But I just enjoy that whole aesthetic. The horror films and the sort of Addams Family sensibilities, and the clothing and the weird. And that's where I like to live. And it's fun to have a little bit of time where it's all around, not just at my house.
Yeah, it's really nice to be able to do that. And Moonlight Potions and Charms, actually, we have a new candle that is out, that's going to be out. And our candle is Thing. And Thing has a special message for people, especially for people who are shy about telling other people off. And I absolutely love this candle that I've made. And he is pointing the middle finger.
How fun.
Yes. So you'll be able to see that on our website. And we're going to hashtag Thing It. So instead of saying fuck it, we're going to say Thing It. Yeah, there you go. Thing It.
There you go.
So spread that across everything, because that's what Thing would do. And he's your buddy.
There you go.
And he is awesome. I mean, awesome. The details on this candle were absolutely amazing when I was pulling it out. And I was like, dang, I love this stuff. But, I'm like you. I love Halloween and Samhain. I always have. It was always my favorite holiday because I could be myself and nobody would care. That's when I really cared about what other people think back then. But it's a wonderful, wonderful time to really, truly explore who you are. And God, I miss the spirit of Halloween stores. That is my favorite store. It will always be my favorite store.
We've got them here. They're still around. Although I tell you what, though, Nikki, they're a little bit of a shadow of what you remembered, because I remember when the spirit stores first opened, there was all this unique kind of offerings. There was quirky little things that didn't seem quite so mass produced. A lot of horrific art and things like that. Some of the animatronics, but a lot of it was just this quirky little almost Etsy looking stuff that was all over. And of course now it's all mass produced, made in China, plastic stuff, which is, I mean, there's some fun stuff in there, but it's a little different than it used to be. It's a little more Walmart than it used to be. So so you're not missing as much. I think your memory is better.
Well, you know, the spirit stores are owned by Spencer's.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I can see that. Oh my gosh, Spencer's. When I was a kid, sneaking into Spencer's is one of those big deals.
Oh,
And
yeah.
trying not to get
was.
caught going into the back blacklit section.
Right, right. I remember that. You know, I remember that. And you wanted to buy something that had something nudie on it or something like that and get away with it.
They had all the great Kiss t-shirts and posters.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that. That was a very, very, very wonderful store. It still is, but it's not like it used to be. You know,
No, it's not.
it's not as fun anymore.
A lot of things aren't. We need to figure out how to bring back the fun.
Well, you know, a lot of that is talking to your little witch is how you really bring back fun. And kind of how do you say it? Just letting go and not think about, well, what's everybody going to think of me? Oh my God. Say thing it. There we go. We're going to thing it. You know, just tell them that.
And there's also that other side where we wonder about what people think of us, to only find out that they really don't.
Right. Right. You know, the thing about Halloween and everything is of course you're getting ready for the ancestors, which I don't know. Maybe you can shed some light on this, Saul. To me, they say that the thinning of the veils is extremely thin during this time. I've never seen it where it was extremely thick.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, and I think that's one of the things that is important. Okay, yes, there are aspects of this season that are conducive to connection, and so if you're someone who's just trying to get started in things, you're just figuring this stuff out, then yeah, this is a season where you have some advantages on being able to make connection, partly because there are aspects of the season as we move into the winter and the energy is shifting around, the things quieten down a little bit, and it's a little easier to hear. It's a little bit easier to connect with the subtlety that happens with spirit connection. I've never had a Ghostbusters kind of experience with spirit connection. It's always been very subtle.
So Slimers never come and slimed you before?
No.
What the hell, Saul?
Not like that.
Man.
I get more of that from people.
Daisy.
But also there I think there's something about, I talked about that this season is when everyone else starts catching up with us. And so just as the December season, giving and gratitude and all of that is available all year round. But December, as we get into the festival's light and all of that sort of thing, we have more people thinking about that at the same time. And that increases that vibration. And I think it's the same during October as we move into the harvest seasons and Samhain and all of that sort of thing. People that don't give any thought to these things for the rest of the year are suddenly interested in it. And that cranks up that vibration. And as you know, any kind of magic or connection or anything like that is all about getting in the right vibration. And when you've got, spooky TV commercials going on, and by the way, if you haven't gone back, I mean, we don't have them like we used to, but if you get a chance, look up Halloween commercials on YouTube and look at some of the nutty commercials they had in the 80s and the 90s when people weren't streaming everything. There's some crazy stuff, the spooky McDonald's commercials. All that kind of thing. So I think that there is something to be said for that, just because everyone is more open to this vibration. And so that amplifies it. And it makes it a lot easier to do things. But you certainly don't have to wait for this season to have access to any of that. But if you're just getting started in this kind of thinking, it's a great time, because you're going to have a lot of support from the environment. But you gotta do those base things. You gotta do the grounding. You gotta do the shielding. You may have some shadow work to deal with. Because I tell you, when you connect with haunted spaces, when you connect with spirits, whether they're family or whether there's something else, there's no trigger warnings, honey. Right? Nope. There's nothing that's going to say, okay, if hard stuff happens, it just happens. And if you don't know how to encounter that, it's gonna hit you.
Yeah.
And so it's really important to, so spend the bottle, playing with a Ouija board as a game where you're not taking it seriously. I'll be honest with you, I really don't think it's easy to open a portal to something if you're just fucking around. Okay? Great movies, great stories, but it's actually difficult to do magic when you're just playing, right? Someone's got to be open. Now, it may be that while you're doing that there is someone participating that's a lot more open than anybody knows.
Mm-hmm.
And if they go along with that ride and aren't honest about that, then yeah, that's a situation where things can happen. But a bunch of high school kids sitting around a Ouija board going, ooh, spooky. I think Pazuzu's got better things to do, to be honest.
Well, also that person may not even understand.
Yeah.
That, because I know a lot of times when I was younger, I didn't understand those things.
Right. So I think that those kinds of things that say that you're going to accidentally do bad magic, well, what does that sound like? That sounds like propaganda, doesn't it? That sounds like someone giving out that warning, goes, oh, you don't want to be thinking about that stuff. You don't want to be looking at that stuff, because you might accidentally open that doorway and then it's going to drag you to hell. Right? I mean,
or something's going to come out of it and it's going to eat you.
Yeah. And I'm not saying to throw caution to the winds. Anyone listening to this show, anyone watching this show, is someone who has already stepped to a threshold and they've embraced things to a certain degree, right? So they're genuinely curious. They're genuinely open. But I don't think some asshole just putting on a witch's hat and playing Harry Potter and using some spookification in what they're doing. I think what lies beyond the veil is just going to point and laugh at that. And I'm not so worried about those people. I don't know. Maybe I just damned a bunch of people, and maybe we'll finally get those cards and letters. But I don't worry about that stuff so much, because I think that you gotta, well, yeah, I'll say it. You got to put your hand on the knob first, right? That door just doesn't open itself. So you put your hand on the knob. Yeah. So you shake hands with your little wizard. I just don't think it's something to be upset about. And I think in many cases there are people who, as young people, are curious people. Some of us not so young. When we really open that doorway, it's the intention. And if your intention is just to play around, I really don't think that the universe is there to teach you a lesson. It's just going to ignore you for the most part. But when your intention changes to I really want to see, I really want to know, well, then you've changed the rules. And that's when you should engage more deeply. But a Ouija board is not really any more powerful of a tool than a pendulum or any other method that you might use to have that level of communication. A candle, when I do communication, a candle session is something that I do a lot. Have you ever done a candle session?
I have. Yes.
Isn't that the freakiest thing?
It don't freak me out. But then again, it's hard to freak me out.
Well, and I'm not saying that it scares you or anything, but it's freaky. It is the weirdest thing.
You get weirded out too easily. I'll sit there. I think it's hilarious.
I look at it joyfully, because remember, I came at this from a very skeptical background, right? And so the fact that when you ask the candle to show you yes, and it does something, and it always does, right? That flies in the face of my old Mr. Spock logic with that kind of stuff. And I am just delighted that it works the way that it does. I think it's so cool and so much fun. And I'll be honest, I hope I'd never lose that joy, because that's a lot of benefit to me. I know of witchy people who appear to have lost that joy, and everything has to be very serious. And
they're so dull.
They're so dull. And to me, the whole aspect of doing these things, and that they work and they continue to work, it just that makes me giggle, and I enjoy that. Even in tense situations, it's just a great amount of joy to watch it be successful, because that's not the way I was taught the universe works. But I was taught wrong.
And with that, that's all for our show today.
Oh, wow.
All right. So embrace your power, support your community, and keep your furry babies, your family, friends, and yourself safe, and have an absolute magical week. And don't summon any demons in the bathroom, okay?
I know some people who like to chat. I think they're witches, how about that? And every Sunday at 12 o'clock. And if you're hurting, they're willing to talk. Nikki, Kirby with that black stone. I agree, Evermoving We Rise. Life and soul with a beautiful mind. I give you blessings under moonlight. I know some people who like to chat. I think they're witches, how about that? And every Sunday at 12 o'clock. And if you're hurting, they're willing to talk.